All right, thanks for coming tonight. Really appreciate it. I get do this first, is that right? Okay, well, yeah. Tracy's out sick, so you're stuck with me tonight. I'm going to call this meeting to order. If you'd stand and do the pledge with me. Sorry, I don't know how to turn the ring off. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, try and get this. All right. Well, so yeah, it's wide world of technology. Okay. Communications to the board and review of agenda. Superintendent Freeman.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome everybody. Sure appreciate you coming out on a Wednesday night during cold and flu season and all the activities that we have going on, wrapping up our winter sports. Just left the girls' middle school basketball game and it was a barn burner and I haven't got a text yet. Has anybody heard how it ended up? The B game? We were down 1 point when I left, so excited to hear about that. Okay, back to business. On your agenda, we are canceling the executive session for tonight, and we added two fundraisers to the consent agenda. Other than that, everything's good to go.
Excellent. Anybody have any questions? No, good. All right. Next is the elementary school student report by Austin McCauley and Olivia Odell. Or just Olivia. Okay. Olivia does this so often, I don't have to tell her to get the mic.
The Paw Patch held its annual leaf ranking contest, where students collected bags of leaves from family, neighbors, and friends to donate them to the school garden beds. The class that brings in the most bags wins a pie party. This year, Mrs. Welker's class took first place. They celebrated by making 4 pies in the morning, then topped them off with homemade whipped cream in the afternoon. It was delicious. It was a delicious reward for their hard work. Next week, Mr. Garza will bring a group of high school students to visit our second grade classrooms for FFA week. They will rotate through each room with a 25-minute presentation and plan to bring small critters for students to see. This is the second visit from the high school students this year. Back in January, Mrs. Strong's class, On My Own, partnered with second graders to sew their own stuffed plushies. Our students, teachers, and staff love having the high school students in our building and hope to find even more ways to work together. A big thank you goes out to Mrs. Claire and our community for another successful clothing exchange. During the conferences last week, families browsed gently used clothing items to take home. This year, Glide Rec joined the event and offered gently used sports equipment as well. This program is a wonderful resource for our community and is appreciated by everyone who participates. Last month, we shared updates on our wrestling and junior cheer programs, and there is even more good news to report. Umpqua Valley Wrestling Club brought 25 wrestlers to a kids' state and placed second overall based on the team size and points earned. Our junior cheer teams competed in Salem last week with outstanding results. The mini team placed third, the youth team placed first and earned judges' choice, and the junior team placed second. The junior team that traveled to the Nationals also placed second and had an incredible experience. We are very proud of all these athletes. You are warmly invited to our 16th annual spaghetti dinner and auction on February 26th. This beloved event has grown every year thanks to the dedication of our 4th, 5th, and 6th grade teachers, parents, and students. It is a fun evening for the whole community, and everyone is welcome to attend. We hope to see you there.
Thank you very much. Yes. Tammy was very helpful to get that lined up. So you're going to do middle and high.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'm gonna start off with the middle school report from middle school leadership. They had the Super Bowl trivia competition was well received and students enjoyed the individual classroom time with their houses. They had the Under the Sea dance is coming up next Wednesday, the 25th. And March 16th starts the second annual gold hunt for St. Patty's Day. Students collect gold all week and their buckets are weighed. Winning houses earns a root beer float party. For the athletics, Glide Middle School girls basketball has their final game of the season tonight at home against Oakland. They've had a great season. Middle school wrestling will be competing in districts on Friday at South Umpqua High School. And they look forward to seeing the results of all their hard work. Some of the athletes will continue on to regionals on March 7th in hopes of qualifying for state on the 14th. Middle school track and field will start at the end of March.
Cool. That's just around the corner.
And for high school leadership, in February, freshman leadership students successfully planned this year's winter formal, a Greek fairy tale, hosted by the North Umpqua Bible Fellowship Church. The dance was a huge success. The high school leadership also hosted a conversation heart scavenger hunt last week, where students could search for hearts during passing periods. The winner will get to host a root beer float party with 8 peers. We are busy planning fun events for the remainder of the school year. For the high school athletics, Glide High School winners season is wrapping up. Competition cheer competed at state last weekend, coming home with 4th place out of 9 teams. Glide High School boys and girls basketball honored their seniors last night and will play in their final games of the season at Sutherland on Thursday. The Glide High School girls wrestling is headed to districts this weekend, and our 7 athletes are hoping to qualify for state. Our boys wrestling team competed in districts last Saturday. The team took 3rd, and 6 boys qualified for state at the end of the month. Our head coach, Walker Damewood, was also selected Coach of the Year by the league. And spring sports practices begin March 2nd. We already have 14 signed up for softball, 22 for baseball, and 56 signed up for track and field. Should be a great spring.
How many was that for track and field again?
56.
56. Nice.
Thank
Thank
for
you.
your time.
Right enough. It's Cats of the Month awards time. Cats for review is character, achievement, teamwork, and success. Character shows respect, responsibility, and integrity in all settings. Achievement, strive for excellence in academics and personal growth. Teamwork, work together with peers, teachers, and community for shared goals. And success, build habits that lead to lifelong learning and achievement. Students who receive this award have been selected by school staff because they have demonstrated exceptional attendance, exceptional behavior, and have performed exceptionally well in the classroom for the month. So all in all, for all of you who are here for that, thank you for your efforts. It sets the bar for everyone else.
For 12th grade, Chayton Ainsley. Chayton has truly impressed the teachers of Glide High School with his commitment to pursuing his dream of earning a PhD in geology with a focus on paleontology. He has shown extraordinary initiative by volunteering more than 280 hours last summer at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. Ask him about the Triceratops skull. Chayton has also shared his expertise by presenting his knowledge of paleontology and ancient environments to his geology class. This remarkable level of commitment at such an early stage speaks volumes about his motivation, maturity, and genuine passion for his chosen field. We are all proud of you, Chayton. Eleventh grade, Zach Jones. Zach Jones is a student you can't help but root for. He is consistently making mature decisions, working hard, passing all of his classes, and approaches challenges with determination and a positive mindset. He is kind, respectful, and giving to those who surround him, making him a valued member of our school community. He has grown into an exemplary student who always does his best in every situation and continues to show impressive personal growth. Tenth grade, Ian Satfield. The saying, "It's not where you start, it's where you finish," absolutely applies to Ian Satfield. Over the past 20 weeks, Ian's study habits have improved every week. Tasks that seemed overwhelming to him at the beginning of the year now seem pedestrian to him. He has become more independent when it comes to completing his own works as well. What I really appreciate about having Ian in class are the many history tidbits that he adds to our discussion. Having students like Ian who bring their own prior knowledge creates a level of depth to classroom discussions, as well as developing a level of buy-in from other students. Ninth grade, Caleb Carson. Caleb's effort in algebra has been phenomenal. Caleb has excelled at solving equations and inequalities, demonstrating a true understanding of the material. The pride and consistent effort have really shown, and I couldn't be prouder of Caleb. Great way to start out second semester. Keep up the hard work. Eighth grade, Allison Poge. Okay. Allison is a dedicated student whose intelligence, hard work, and thoughtfulness consistently shine through. In life science, she creates beautiful, well-designed posters that demonstrate a strong understanding of complex topics such as photosynthesis, mitosis, and Mendelian genetics. Thank you, Allison, for making Blythe Middle School a better place. Seventh grade, Dylan Deeks. Dylan is the epitome of kindness. He makes everyone feel included, he listens to everyone's ideas, and he never stops encouraging or helping everyone around him. He is hardworking, humble, trustworthy, and polite. Dylan always gives 100% effort. On run days, 1.7 miles is an A+. Dylan averages 2.5 miles on these days due to his own choice of making himself better. I am not sure I've seen a student try harder than Dylan on a daily basis. It is an honor to teach him.
Sixth grade, Raylin Rivera. Raylin is a sixth grader with a strong work ethic, and thus her academic growth is tremendous. It is a pleasure to teach Raylin, who is always positive and does whatever she can to help others. She leads by example, and it is inspirational to those around her. Fifth grade, Ava Macaulay. Ava is a very deserving student of this Cats of the Month award, as she sets a wonderful example through her kindness, positive attitude, and respect for everyone, handling challenges with grace and maturity. Academically, she holds herself to high standards, consistently completes her homework, often extends her learning beyond requirements, and has shown impressive growth in language arts this year. Ava contributes essential qualities to our classroom community, making it a more positive and supportive place for everyone. Fourth grade, Armin Dravon. I nominated Armin Dravon for Cats of the Month award because he consistently demonstrates responsibility and dedication in everything he does. His outstanding work ethic shows by how he repeatedly surpasses his AR goals, setting a strong example for peers. He is a kind, supportive, and always willing to help others grow, lifting the whole class with patience and encouragement. Third grade, Audrey Deeks. Audrey Deeks. Audrey is a funny, caring student who makes sure she stays on top of school in all areas. She is always checking to make sure that she has completed work to the expectations set. She is friendly and works well with all students in class. She is a joy to have in class. Second grade, Connor Gilbreth. Connor has turned into an exceptional leader as both a learner and a friend. He embodies a wide range of character traits that contribute to his success, including curiosity, a strong work ethic, wit, humility, and a great sense of humor. He is always up for a challenge. It has been an absolute delight to witness the progress of Connor has made from the beginning of school to the end to now, especially becoming more independent and responsible. Connor consistently leads and supports others with kindness and empathy. Keep shining, Connor. You can achieve anything you set your mind to. First grade, Zakiah Darby Wyckoff. Zakiah was nominated for this award in recognition of her consistent demonstration of respect, responsibility, and outstanding character. She is always present, prepared, and treats everyone with kindness while maintaining a positive attitude that inspires her peers. Zakiah not only pushes herself to succeed, but also actively encourages and assists classmates, exemplifying that she values this award. Kindergarten, Kyla McCraw. Kyla is receiving this award due to her consistent positive attitude toward learning in the classroom, as well as her outstanding work ethic. She is a bright light to her fellow classmates and respectful and a kind friend to all.
Thank you again, Olivia and Clara, for that. We're gonna take a 5-6 minute break. How could he not? Not that it matters. Right. No, but if somebody's on the right, right, pay them for it, don't you? Make sure. Talking. Yeah. What's, where I need part of it is our own authority. But for parliamentary procedure, I think you'll break it. Hopefully wrapping about of that or where. Yeah. If we're all ready, let's get get come back to the meeting and get started. Well, I see the stack of yellow cards that Dan put in front of Jan there, so uh I don't see any, is that correct? So we have no public participation, yeah. I can talk. Uh, Okay, moving on. Things that require action and discussion. Budget committee appointment. We have one candidate, Dan Dawson. Yay. If there's something you'd like to put forth, we'd love to hear it. Till it gets green.
So Dan Dawson, graduate from Clyde High School here in 1996. I've been on the budget committee for 2 times now, and would really like to do it again and be a part of the budget process for Clyde School District. I've enjoyed my time so far and look forward to hopefully being that person again. Thank you very much.
Can we get that in writing and publish it? I mean, you're almost as bad as us because we all like doing this too. So thank you for your volunteering time. I know you're a busy guy. So I would entertain a motion for the appointment of Mr. Dawson.
I'll move to. Did we all go at the same time? I move to approve the appointment of Dan Dawson to the Budget Committee for a 3-year term as presented.
Okay. We have a motion. We have a second. Is there any discussion?
Thank you, Dan. Oh, I can wait my vote.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, no, that's fine. Right? That's a fine discussion. All right. Seeing no hands or hearing anything else, then I call it a vote. All in favor of appointing Dan Dawson to the Budget Committee for a 3-year term as presented. All in favor, say aye or
Aye.
raise your hand. It's unanimous. You're stuck, Dan. Thank you very much. Approval of the consent agenda or not. Containing the minutes, financial report from January, request for grants and fundraisers. I'll entertain a motion to approval of the consent agenda. Note that there's 2 additional, that first page. If that changes your mind about anything.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's on the table. Is there any discussion about the consent agenda?
Can you remind me what a timpani is?
Timpani. It's a drum. It's a
It's a
type of
big
drum.
drum. That's what I thought.
It's a big,
It's
type of drum.
It's been a long time. Okay.
Okay. Anything further? Okay, then I call for a vote. All in favor of approving the consent agenda, talk tonight, as presented. I say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No, motion passes unanimously. Well, with the 4 that are here. Sorry, we got a bunch of these. Let's see if I can get going. Annual renewal of contracts for 2026.
You got, there's a 3,
Yeah,
there's a
3.
work session at the very top. It's hard to see.
Oh, it's teeny tiny.
Looks like a title.
Oh. Yeah, I guess we were on such a roll. Board work session scheduling. There's a memo on page 16 of the handout. The reference,
No,
isn't it? No,
no, that's,
I was led astray.
are we just?
I don't think there's a memo. So
Okay,
it's kind of awkward where this is placed because my presentation tonight to give you an update on the bond and where we're at really leads us into one of our next steps is we really need to have a work session that includes you, the community, staff members, and but there's a couple things that need to happen before that, but we really do need to get it calendared because as you're going to hear in my presentation, one of the things that I'm going to ask you to do is approve that we hire a professional bond counsel to lead us through the process. And they'll actually help with organizing the work session for us. So it's a little awkward, but if we don't get it calendared, it's we're on a pretty short runway as it is, and that's just going to make the runway even shorter. So if you could think about just an evening where you can dedicate an hour and a half of your time, That's really what you're picking out tonight. And then the focus of that will be our community schools work around the bond.
And we wanted to do that before the next meeting. Is that correct?
I would love it if we could do that before the next board meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
We're
good
gonna,
work session.
we're gonna personally invite a pretty good range of people in the community, but it would be open to anybody that would want to join us that day. That's my hope. If it's a night they can't, then you're looking at the person who's gonna run it, but yeah, and that meeting really is to catch that group up on what you're gonna hear tonight about where we're at in the process. What's transpired up to this point. And then really talk about that group. We're gonna break into small groups. We're gonna talk about different projects, pros and cons of those projects, intended and unintended outcomes if we do those projects, and just kind of get some synergy going in that group on what could be possible if we go for a bond in November. If we give them the I should be able to get to the district calendar here. John, can you get there quick? Are you headed there or maybe you're ahead of me?
Looks like our next meeting is the 18th, is that right? And
Uh,
we're meeting today on the 18th, which is fun.
Well, for anybody have
John
anything
beat
about
me there.
what day of the week is worse than another?
I
Is
can't
it-
do Tuesdays.
What's that?
I can't do Tuesdays. Tuesday.
So
Tuesdays. Okay.
for sports though, we're pretty easy because we won't have any
This is a
events
great
yet.
time for sports. We're
Yeah.
right in between.
What about I'm gonna just throw it out there. What about Monday the 2nd?
One. Also. It's also fire department night.
Do we have somebody we can reach out quickly and find that out?
Sure, we got 10 minutes. Well, we do a very good try. We can have- Somebody started on March 2nd, so there's, this has all of our stuff. And we know that's like that.
I can't read that purple.
Seattle science trip.
What time are we
But,
talking about? I have an introduction I have to give at an event.
On the 4th.
But I mean, I could come, but it's at 6 and I just have to introduce and say thank you and then I'm done. And I can jump in here, but what's at 7, it would be a problem, but 6:30.
So that worked for the group. So the 4th at 6:30.
Yeah.
Would 6:30 be okay? That would give me point, if we could, I just have to say welcome, thank you, and
Is that enough buffer?
Huh?
Or do we need to be 7?
no, I may just be a couple minutes late. I'd rather get it started, not too late, so folks could have that time.
So there, if we can go with the 4th, I'm not hearing anybody going absolutely not. So how about time?
So we're saying, if we could do 6:30,
6:30.
6:30?
it may be a couple minutes late, but
Okay.
I say that's our first choice.
6:30 to 8.
Okay. Well, and there's no teachers here, but all y'all staff and such coming to these additional meetings and late nights, you've already worked a day, so have we.
Yeah.
But still, it's appreciated. So 4th at 6:30? Going once,
And can we have a backup?
going twice?
First phone call.
We have a
Where's that
backup.
where are we gonna
Option.
hold?
You want a backup option?
I'm gonna see how many
It would-
people Add to that.
Then
John, could you
decide.
put that back up? Sorry. We're
Okay.
just tortured. I don't know if you heard that Janet was suggesting a secondary choice,
Turn it.
an alternate.
Just go a week out to the 11th.
What about the 11th?
Yeah,
I
Why
could
would
do
we
that,
do an alternate?
just in case that there's a conflict or can't get the right people there.
Well, I think we're gonna have several of these. I do think we're gonna have less people at the beginning. We'll have as we kind of go. So as people start hearing. That's what we do. We invite people in for some of our community school stuff. I mean, this would be just kind of our kickoff. Like I said, pretty much the presentation you're gonna see tonight, and look at the different projects that are already on the table, talk about those, and if there's any other projects that small group people know we want to put on the list.
I was just saying an alternate, if everybody can do the 11th, it's just a plan B. That's all I was proposing.
I don't remember Tim. I don't remember them talking about how often we should do this. Just talk.
they didn't say.
I didn't ask her. We'll find out.
There was, they used the word meetings, which
They didn't-
means
it's a-
plural,
It's a
but
series, yes.
not, they didn't talk about frequency.
Should have asked.
Oh, well, not alone. Okay, any further discussion, concerns about the work session? So the primary one, the kickoff one will be March 4th. Great Army Day. Okay, at 6:30. Or since it's Army Day, 18:30 hours.
Location to be determined.
And what location?
To be determined.
Is there someplace other than here?
This has, I think, a limited capacity. My hope is that we could fill up like maybe our cafeteria or something like that.
Okay,
I might be a little optimistic.
well, it would be better to have a place bigger than smaller and standing room only. Okay. Yeah, so we'll
Awesome.
just go with
Thank you for that.
site to be determined. Got budget in my head. Bond. Okay. Moving forward. Annual renewal of contracts for 2026 to 27. The first one is probationary teachers, first year to second year. I would entertain a
Tim,
motion.
do you mind if I go through each of these and kind of explain?
No, you.
All right. So this is-
the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is a yearly exercise that's mandated by statute. And you have to approve by March 15th, the renewal of licensed contracts. And we do it in February to give us enough room so we can notify our staff by March 15th. Last year, I tried to do it all in one motion and I really confused you guys. So this year, I am breaking it down by each category. And beginning on page 16, in your board packet memo, you'll see the actual names that belong to those categories. We won't read those names out loud in here, but if you're curious as who fits in these categories, you have that information. Also, if you get to contract teacher status and you're wondering why maybe a teacher that you know isn't on that list, it's because when teachers get to contract status, we only renew them every 2 years. So they would be in an off year if they're not on that list. Okay. All right. With that, Tim, if we can get a cadence going, I'll see if I can help you out here. So A is probationary teachers, first year to second year.
I'll entertain a motion for first year to second year.
I move to approve probationary teachers' contracts for teachers in their first year of teaching to advance to their second year as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? And I will,
Yep. Thank you, Director Quimby. I should have added that. Our principals are charged with the duties to evaluate each of these licensed teachers. There is a license evaluation process that you've adopted, and our principals and our staff follow that. The people in front of you have met that criteria and are recommended to me by the principals, and so I am recommending them to you. So they all have been vetted. Yes, that's a great question.
and I'd encourage everybody to read along the names so you know. Any further discussion? Okay, with that, all in favor of approving the probationary teachers' contracts for teachers in their first year of teaching to advance to their second year as presented, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Unanimous for a positive or affirmative? Okay, probationary teacher, second year to third year.
You want me to like, alternate? I move to approve probationary teachers' contracts for teachers in their second year of teaching to advance to their third year as presented.
Second.
Thank you. The motion as described, is there any discussion? Robert, did you have any more?
No, you're on it.
I'm on it now? Okay.
I'm
I
not.
didn't know if you wanted to say something about each
Yeah,
one.
Nope, you're on it.
Okay.
Thanks for taking over.
All right. Thank you. No discussion. Let's take it to vote. All in favor of approving probationary teachers' contracts for the teachers in their second year of teaching to advance to their third year as presented, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
It's unanimous for the affirmative. Probationary teachers' third year to contract status. Can I have a motion for that, please?
I can second.
Thank you. Any discussion in, for this motion? Hearing none. All in favor of approving probationary teachers' contracts for teachers in their third year of teaching to advance to contract status as presented? Say aye, raise your hand. Okay, no, none opposed, unanimous affirmative.
Chair Shaw, I'd like to jump in right here, please. This is a new category. You've never seen this before because this was legislation that was just recently passed, House Bill 2900. And what House Bill 2900 does is it gives credit for teachers who did serve a probationary period in the state of Oregon in another school district. Prior to this legislation, if teachers move from one district to another district, they had to serve a new 3-year probationary period. This law gives school districts the ability to expedite that process. So in front of you are teachers that have not been with us for 3 years, but have met probationary status in another district, and we're recommending them for contract status in our district.
Question. Is that mandatory or can we? Well, that's a little high, lower in the weeds for us anyway, but for you and the principals, is that something that you can decide that you have the option of not accepting the 3 years?
My understanding. Tracy, would you agree with that?
No, man, 2 years here? Okay. All right. Thanks. I just wanted to clarify. it's gonna sound bad, this, and I don't mean it this way, but if a teacher moves from one school to another, there's always why. I'm a why person. Why did you do that? And it's like, so do we have a, and the way the Oregon bills, government bills are, how many things have been forced down our throat? And I'm just wondering, are we stuck with somebody else's problem?
Absolutely.
Great. I'm just curious about that. Thank you very much. Maybe this isn't the venue to do it, but too bad I did it. Probationary teachers advancement to contract status in accordance with Oregon House Bill 2900. Could I have a motion for that, please?
All right, I'll move to approve a probationary teacher's advancement to contract status in accordance with Oregon House Bill 2900 as presented.
Second.
Great. Any discussion? Molly, comments on what I just asked about, and that is, I'm glad that we don't have that issue here. That's fantastic. Great news. All in favor of any further discussion? Sorry. All in favor of approving probationary teachers advancement to contract status in accordance with Oregon House Bill 2900 as presented, please raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Again, unanimous for the affirmative. 2-year contract extensions for 26, 27, and 27, 28 school years. 2-year teacher, okay, yeah. Could I have a motion for that, please?
I move to
Sorry.
extend non-probationary teachers' contracts for 26, 27, and 2027, 2028 as presented.
Second.
Okay,
And that list was there,
quite
the
the,
other side.
the big list there. Any discussion? Concerns otherwise? Okay, great. All in favor of extending non-probationary teachers' contracts for the 26, 27, and 27, 28 as presented? Raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes unanimously.
Quick comment.
Yeah.
We're all amongst friends. I just want to assure the board that our HR department and our administrators work really, really hard, that we would not recommend to you somebody who is not being successful in another school district. We have established the culture in Glide where the best from outlying areas want to come here. And that's where we want to be.
And I wouldn't expect anything different, but when the government makes bills, you never know what you're going to get stuck with. You know, pretty soon we won't be able to eat beef. So. There's a thing here that says 2026 ORS language.
Well, that's just where the language is for what you guys just did.
Okay. Then we don't need to go over that any further. Reports.
All righty.
Intended
Like I'm
report.
standing in front of you guys. I need to be over here so I can see the screen. So I wanted to walk you through what we've been doing up to this point. That's led us to some opportunities in Glide. Okay. The history is in 2007, the Glide voters passed a bond for $1.08 per 100,000 assessed value.
No, per
I don't
100
mind.
no, isn't it per thousand? Isn't it a mill rate?
It's $1.08 per thousand. Yeah.
If it's like every other place that I know of, that's.
Is that what
they
I
call
did? I
the mill
say
rate.
something different than that?
You
That's what
said
it is.
for 100,000.
Oh yeah, no, not 100,000 per thousand. Thank you. No, we get more money that way. Okay. There was some questions amongst this group about what that bond was dedicated towards. I've done a ton of research, and here's what I found. It was to replace roofs at the elementary and high school. It was to do a playground project at the elementary school, relocate the middle school library to the main building, buy new high school gym bleachers, a new gym floor, renovate the gym bathrooms and locker rooms and facilities, replace the high school band room windows and coverings, retile the cafeteria and renovate cafeteria bathrooms, renovate the science rooms, and then replace all the windows and frames at the high school. And that's what's in all the literature. What I don't have is how that changed when the fire happened, because I do think some things got twisted up a little bit between the bond and then the fire stuff. But this is the history that I was able to dig up. Next slide, please. All right, so you guys had directed me to guide the district in looking at the opportunity, which meant 2007, which means that it matures in 2027. It was a 20-year bond. To look at the opportunity of renewing that bond. And so I have a little bit of experience, albeit failed experience, but not experience nonetheless, a through bond process. But I felt like I needed to go to a workshop just to hear and learn more. Well, like a lot of you, when you go and you learn more, what you learn is how much you really don't know. And so this was a really good workshop for me because I learned a ton, and I learned that there's a lot that I don't know. So if we can hit the next slide. What I learned is the best shot for success is to be proactive and ask voters for a leveling or a continuation bond. That's what you guys are doing. Our bond is maturing in 27. You're asking voters just to continue that. There'll be some discussion on, do we ask voters for the $1.08, which they approved in 2007, or do we ask the voters at the current levy rate, which is 91 cents? And so if we're going to make a statement to the voters that we can get X amount of money, and I'll get to that here in a little bit, with no additional cost to you, that would be to be honest and transparent, that's the 91 cents. What we want to do is we want to survey the community to see what the tolerance is to go for the original $1.08. And then we can frame that too. Like this is a continuation bond of the original $1.08 per 1,000 that you levied in 2007. That's still accurate and transparent. I'll get to what those two numbers mean here in just a minute. Something I learned up there is that the data is super clear. You five need to be 100% in agreement. That doesn't mean you need to agree on everything, but you have to commit to a bond, and you have to be able to look your constituents, your people in the face, and tell them why they should vote yes for the bond. I can't do that. Anytime I'm in Glide, I'm considering working, and I can't tell them to vote yes. I can give them data and I can give them all the facts, but your people are going to come to you and say, hey, why should I do this? And if we don't have 100% people being able to sell that, the data is very clear that the bond won't pass. Each campus must benefit. And that is something that came out of our assessment stuff. Each campus will have some projects, if you will. Clear, transparent communication must exist, and that's where those community work sessions are going to come in. And the verbiage that we use needs to be very accurate and honest. And then the main thing I learned is that it's super important to hire a professional agency to guide the process, so we don't miss deadlines. We ensure that we're asking the right questions. We're surveying our people. They'll help us with informationals, digital and hard copy. They'll help us with community meetings, surveys, and then getting dispensing of information. Next slide. All right, current status. That's interesting. Next slide. Here we go. All right. You directed me to prepare the district for a bond levy. I started by engaging Piper Sandler, who is a bond consultant in the state, probably does 95% of the school districts that do bonds. What they are is they work on the front end to help you understand what different bond rates mean for generating different amounts of money. And they do all the analysis for you up front. They do that for free because if we're successful, then we'll go through them to buy bonds, and that's where they make their money. You've heard this before. We applied for and received a state facilities TAP grants for facility assessments. I'll get into that in a little bit more, but we hired Pivot Architect out of Eugene to conduct those facilities assessments. Head point person's name's John Stapleton. Tim got to meet him the other day on a conference call. And what that does is that sets us up so we're eligible to apply for the Awesome Grant. And the Awesome Grant is a really unique grant in Oregon. I'll try not to get on my soapbox here, but it's a grant it's an award that districts are eligible for only if they pass a bond. You're going to see here in a little bit that our award is $6.1 million. That money is sitting at the state right now, and the only way we can access it is if we pass a bond. It's really discriminating against rural districts who have trouble passing a bond. I think that money should be available to schools on a periodic rotation basis. Glide School District could do a lot of money with $6.1 million. It's just sitting there. That's my soapbox. I'm off of it. All right. Okay, we supported Pivot during the assessment process. They had access to all of our buildings, our staff, and our students. And then we utilized that facility assessment to build a project list for potential bond projects. We'll get into that list here in a minute, but I will caution you that list is pretty extensive, and not everything on that list I think should be put in front of voters for a bond. There are some things on there that I think a district could be fiscally responsible and start putting money away on a periodic basis to maybe pay for something instead of putting it out to a 20-year bond. We could do that like every 4 years or every 5 years. Personally, I think capital improvement bonds should be dedicated to building new structures. Districts, Glide got really fortunate with the fire. Can I say that? Because your original bond was just repairing things, which districts have to do that because you can't generate enough money to build new structures. We actually have an opportunity this time to generate enough money to build a couple new structures, and I'd like us to think along those lines. The only way districts build new structures is through a bond process, and we have an opportunity to do that with this. Next slide. Okay, here's Piper Sandler's results, and if we go for the 91 cents, it generates $16 million. And at $1.08, it's just under $19 million. And with the awesome match of $6.1 million, you can see what the total is. So we'd be right around 22 million or 25 million. And I think that's important to know because I guarantee you, if we were to poll everybody in this room right now, we'd come up with a pretty extensive list of projects that $26 million won't even touch. I know that for a fact because a lot of you, one of the first things you wanted was a brand new middle school. And we talked about what that costs. So next slide, please. Okay, so some of the projects that were identified through the facility assessments. We'll start at the elementary school. Building a new 15,000 square foot gym. We have team rooms in there. I don't know if I'd like to call them team rooms when we put it out to the public, but some kind of room for groups to meet and talk. That's in somewhat privacy. Staff restrooms, faculty room, and 4 classrooms. I will caution a little bit. This is what came out of the facilities report, but I have some updates for you as different groups have been talking about different projects, and a change that might be intriguing to the community has to do with that gym. They talked about new parking and bus loops for safety improvements. Right now, we have student drop off in front of the building and bus pickup and drop off on the side of the building. It'd be nice to have that all in front of the school, and then create a new secure vestibule for an entryway that fences everything in, and there's one way into the elementary and one way out of the elementary. Parking's always a concern down there. Especially if you go down there, if there's an event or wrestling mat club practice, it's hard to find parking down there. So enlarge and pave parking to separate vehicle and pedestrian traffic. High school, middle school, they came up with a design to extend the current gym, the 2 levels at the current gym, and extend it all the way out to the parking lot. And what that would do is it would create a space up above for wrestling room, its own dedicated room. Cheerleading could use that. Local dance groups could use it. The middle level, extending the locker rooms. And then what that would do, because of the slope, is it would create a 3rd level. And that level we could use for storage or hitting cages for baseball and softball, or whatever we wanted to use down there. Relocate the modular buildings that house IT, the district office, and our digital arts classrooms, and construct an 8,000 square foot middle school multi-purpose room. This was put in there because one of the number one thing that came out of asking staff what they wanted in the Glide School District was to build a new middle school. I've already shared with you guys the numbers, Dan. I don't know if I've shared with you, but to build a new middle school, what we would do is we'd move the 6th grade onto that campus. So it'd be 6th, 7th, and 8th. So it'd be about 150 students. To build a new structure that would house 150 students is about $65 million. So $400,000 assessed property. That would be an additional just under $2,000 a year in taxes to approve that. I'm just guessing. I'll put that out there for the community, but I'm guessing the tolerance for that's probably not going to be real high. So how could we meet that desire of having the middle school kind of have their own identity, but still work in the confines of our current budget and our facilities? We do that by building that structure that would be dedicated to the middle school. The group, so I'm gonna go off topic here a little bit, change. So the group that's been kind of looking at this, somebody came up with, well, why don't we use the slope of that hill? So where we're talking about is off of Alexander Lane right here. Use that slope and make that a 2-story building and build a mat room underneath that facility. So the kids could use that open space during the day, and then that could be the dedicated wrestling space for the district, or when it's not in use, the dance club or cheerleading group. And it would be here on campus. The kids would have access to it, and not do that number 1, because that number 1 is very, very expensive to do. It would take almost our entire money we get from our bond. Okay, so sorry, I got ahead of myself. I tipped my hat there a little bit. Something that's always concerned me, but really isn't a concern for people who are used to it. But I've never been on a school that has a street that goes right through the middle of campus. So one of the things that I asked them to look at is how could we create a safe pedestrian area for our students without traffic going through our campus. And so There's a plan to do that. New parking area right out front of this building right here that kind of utilizes this space over here, and a new pickup and drop off lane that goes in front of the current high school, where we enter through this off of 138, the east entrance. You go in front of the high school and then you exit out of the west entrance area. Next, please. Okay. Oh, here's where I got ahead of myself. So as we keep moving over these ideas, which I'm really excited to bring this to a community group to get other people's ideas and eyes on it. Expanding the current gym really isn't cost effective. We'd utilize most of our bond monies just in that singular project, but instead make that middle school a split level, bottom level, dedicated mat room. Kids can use it during the day, be available for after school extracurricular activities. I told you we just got rid of IT in the district office, so we need to have a place for the IT and district office. And what we would do is we'd utilize a portion of the gym area that we would build at the elementary school. So I wish I had a visual for you, but if you can kind of visualize in your head, the gym would run along the front of the school where the grassy area is right there. And it would be a 2-level structure also. Right past the bus barn would be the entrance to the west area of that gym, which were the northwest corner of the bottom of that building would be the district office. IT would be in that area also. And then we would have classrooms, faculty rooms, and then the top part of that would be another open area for a mat facility, again, for kids to use during the day or our mat club to use in the evening time. That gym would have a east-west court that is regulation, but also have the bleachers fold up to where you can run 2 north-south courts. And by doing that, it allows for an opportunity for Glide to host some events, whether it's a wrestling meet or a cheerleading contest or a basketball tournament, where teams come to Glide instead of Glide always having to go to other places. Also, an argument for the gym at that level is right now we commingle our PE classes with our food service. So breakfast time and lunchtime, the gym is occupied for serving food. And so I know our kids are really tough in Glide, but they have to go outside for PE, even in the weather. So there's a need or a desire to upgrade facilities down at the current athletic complex. And something that came out of that was to build a field house down there on the west end of the football field, between the football field and the soccer field, that would be used for storage for all the different programs that utilize that athletic complex. It would also be an area for visiting teams to use for football games. Right now, it's kind of embarrassing because visiting teams, they go behind the bleachers and they're outside. They're in the elements. They don't have a place to go and meet at halftime or before or after games. That's not true. After games, they go up into the locker room at the high school, so they have to leave the field and do that. We could also incorporate enclosed batting cages in that facility to give our baseball and softball athletes an opportunity to work on their skills all year long. Next slide, please. All right, final takeaways. One of the obvious things is we need to continue to talk, and we need to refine these projects to, one, to make sure they fit within our budget, and two, it's something that the community is going to rally around and support. So we need to have some board work sessions. We talked about that earlier when we just set that date. when we get down to number 2, hire a professional bond consultant. I met with my team and with 2 board members, Tracy and Tim joined me. And we listened to a professional bond organization consultant named Anne Marie Fisk. Oh, her last name is Levitz. That's it. It is Funk. Levitz and Funk and Levitz. It's a really neat game. They come highly recommended. Don't let the name scare you. I was pretty impressed with her. I met with her again today to kind of talk about that process, and they're ready to go. There's lots of bond consultants out there, and everyone has their own opinion. She and our architecture, John Stapleton, they believe that our best target would be to go for a bond in November of this year of 26. Another bond consultant that I was talking to, he would have rathered us go in May of 27 to give us a longer runway to get there. The pros and cons, May of 27 does give us a longer runway to have more meetings and get more input, but it also gives us one shot at the bond. If you heard me earlier that our best chance of passing a bond is doing a leveling or a continuation bond. May of 27 is our last opportunity to do that. After that, there will be a break in taxes to taxpayers. The pro of going in November is that if we do all this work and we get super prepared, and for whatever the reason the voters don't go for a bond, then we have information there that we've learned from, and we can go again in May. There's lots of debates around, is it better to go in November or May? And I will tell you that it's who you talk to. It's 50-50. Some people say they would rather go in May because there's less voters that vote. Others will tell you that voters who vote in May are no voters. And so they would rather you go in November because the chance of more yes voters are voting in November. I'm going to stand in front of you and tell you I don't know what the right answer to that is. I say we do our best work and we go in November and see where that takes us. We definitely need to enlist the community in this process, get feedback. You've heard me talk about Community Schools Initiative, which I'm going to talk about just briefly right after this presentation. Those 2 initiatives, they go hand in hand. They align with each other. So we're actually going to be able to do a lot of work for a couple different things, but utilize the same process. And, the key is committing to the process. We really need to seek people in the community who are huge school supporters like Mr. Dawson, but we also need to seek those people who are not school supporters. We need to hear from people, why they're not, and get them working with us. Often they switch, they just want to be heard, but it would really give us great information to find out why people wouldn't support projects that we put in front of them. So with that, I will open that up for any questions, thoughts. Oh, that's a great question. No, my understanding is you just have to pass a capital improvement bond. Pass $100 bond. That's it. I'll look into that. That's freaking genius. Well, that's the reason I called her today, because she was supposed to give me a proposal. She assures me it'll be here by Monday. I have one from another company that starts at $10,000. One of the reasons why I want to go with this this company is they just worked with Oakland, and superintendent there is my brother-in-law. He said they were by far, and this is his second bond. They failed on the first one, they passed on the second one. The first one, they used a local consultant. It was, I think, $24,000. They used her. It was $15,000 and got a much better product. And then they won their bond. Um, she is a former school board member. She's used to being working with school budgets and around a school um, atmosphere. And she mentioned several times that it's her passion to help schools pass bonds, and she really does cut districts a break. So I'm curious to see what her invoice is going to come in at and what we get for that.
And I found out that she was from Eugene. I grilled her, just to be honest. I'm like, okay. So, what aspect are you, what angle are you coming from? But when she had worked with Oakland and she rattled off a number of small school districts. And so I feel that I walked away feeling pretty good about it.
So can I ask and we talked about this in terms of like the property that the house, is that under consideration in any of this?
Yeah, that would be part of tearing down the modulars. We'd tear that house down. That's the property we'd use to build the
Perfect.
new middle school project building on. And then we'd use that slope as the entry into the lower section. I don't want to act like I know that. I know that when we talked about the gym, the company that helped draw up some plans on that did talk about water suppression because of the amount of people that were going to be in there. Water suppression drives the price of your building way up. I would suspect this building would have to have water suppression in it.
Are you talking about fire suppression?
Yeah, what am I saying?
Yeah.
Fire suppression. So, sorry,
Right.
I'm having trouble even breathing through my nose right now. But I don't know about an elevator.
John, you don't, if you have a interior stairwell, then again, I'm not an expert, but I know a couple of things. If you have an interior stairwell, then yes, you probably have to have an elevator too. But the two are not going to be accessible, at least the proposal I put forth is you're not going to be able to get from inside of one to the other. There'll be basically separate buildings on top of each other.
But if there's students.
That's how to get out of that.
If there's students there, they're gonna have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'd have ramps.
Oh, yeah.
If you have ramps, yeah. Yeah, if you have ramps, yeah, that just, yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, it depends on the, yeah.
So I think we talked about the access to the bottom level would be from a parking lot off of Alexander Lane. And then with ramps, what you're talking about, an ADA ramp to get up to the upper level. But the upper level would have the same elevation as the current property right now. That's interesting. In their drawings, they didn't have any elevators in it, but I didn't think to ask why. So we can certainly ask that question. Sure. Yeah. So that one came in. Do I have anything else on this? I didn't include the project list yet. No. So I want to get more accurate dollar amounts, but that one they did come in that it's going to be just right under $15 million for a gym like what we've been talking about at the elementary school. Correct. Yeah. Yep. Well, what I need to hear or see or watch you nod is that you're okay with me spending district money to hire a professional bond consultant. I've looped in two members to at least hear from one group. We debriefed after that meeting, and both board members were fine moving forward with that group. If it's not that group, then we'll continue to have other presentations. Um, like I said, I have other professional groups that are wanting to do this for us.
And I'm going to caveat that just a little bit, Robert. Yeah, yes, I thought it was good to go forward, but I also said I want to see a proposal. So from them to see. So it wasn't a two thumbs up, it was one.
So going forward, based on the cost of it, that it's not, excessive. So.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
is that, I mean, Robert, is that what we're talking about? I mean, is it?
Yeah, I think we're going to be under $15,000.
and-
So you could have a discussion tonight, like what would be a cap?
Yeah,
Like limit me on. I would never. I would once I get that, I would definitely will forward that to you guys so you can see it. We do. I mean, scary. We're almost in March, so we need to get rolling. But also don't want to throw good money at bad companies either. So.
Yep. Well, let's, in my mind, and somebody stop me if I'm out of line. Okay. We're done.
Well, yeah, it's just a presentation tonight. So.
I want to take a little step back and go, is there anybody that does not want to do the bond at all? Because it's a moot point. Go with, the bonding people, what I wrote there.
consultants.
The bonding consultant, thank you. Um, okay. What are they gonna,
My understanding, you already.
Okay. all right, I just want to make sure that we were clear on that, so,
But I looked at that workshop, was that we need all five, we need to be on. I think that's what you're getting at.
yes,
But I don't think that's a motion or a discussion.
Okay.
Because ultimately, you're gonna be the ones that meet with people in the community and you right to say how you feel. So, my job to make sure I give you the right information. Do enough time if you feel like you have input to buy into the process. Or when you're in that position, you can look somebody in the eye and say, yeah.
So given the timeline that you had talked about, I guess I'm just curious, Robert, if we need to make a decision tonight on the consultants or if we can
I
wait
don't
on
think so.
that? Okay,
I just
perfect.
think you need to know that we.
Keep going forward.
Here's how I put it
Yeah.
to Tim and Tracy and to you guys. So this is a lot of work. It's a big task. I'm finding myself spending a lot of time on the bonds effort and then doing district stuff at home later at the night, on weekends. I think it would be in all of our best interest to hire a professional that takes those responsibilities off of me and guides the districts to give they know what they're doing. I don't. They can give 100% of their time and effort towards that process, and I can support it that way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Correct.
I mean, I mean, just in terms of due diligence, what I would love to see is just like what their success rate is in passing bonds. You know, if we could get some sort of synopsis of, you know, sounds like it's great because they did well in Oakland. What is their track record? You know, I think again, thinking about, to your point, Tim, about small school districts versus large school districts, you know, how they approach that. And I think
Their
that would
track
be helpful.
record is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's great.
And
Yeah.
because I was like, nah, I mean, we got some brain power here. Like we can do this. And I'm like, but there's little things that trip you up that I learned from Robert that you miss a deadline, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You're out. And it's like, well, I don't know that we want to do that. And do we want Robert pulled off of what his main duties are? And like you said, Dan, it's every 20 years. So, you know, that's less than $1,000 a year. If you look at it that if it's 15 grand, it's less than $1,000 a year for doing that specialized thing. So, and I think that I got the feeling, I walked away with the feeling of we're going to have a much better chance of passage with this partner than trying to do it ourselves.
Some things that she said that I heard. She Zoom virtual meetings is last resort. She prefers to have face-to-face on-site meetings about that. As a team of people, it's not just her, team of people. Each person kind of has their designated specialty area. I trust my brother-in-law. We all don't know Jeff. He's kind of a matter-of-fact person. He's going to tell you somebody's up to par or not up to par, but not say it that nicely. And he speaks very highly of this company and Texas. And so to me, that's huge. I'm not saying that guarantees we pass it all. Because I will say our third bond in Roseburg, we went with Jeremy Williams, professional bond organization that has a 90-something% pass rate. Still filled. Doesn't always equal, but it definitely shows they know what they're doing. Problem group, they did a survey, and that's, I'm gonna help guide, and we're gonna learn from that. Because the voters said one thing, they were loud and clear in the polling, but the board felt like they knew more than the board did. And they put exactly what the community said they didn't want on the ballot. They put it on that ballot 3 times. Will not. Yep. There's another one right there. So, if you get us on board, all right.
So for the next meeting, then would we anticipate to have at the community meeting kind of estimates about what these projects would entail, or is it just going to be
More
more?
information.
Yeah,
I'd really like to narrow down the costs.
yes.
In that report I sent you, there were some costs, but I don't think John, especially with some of the changes I just talked about tonight, he's not aware of those. But I'd like to get an update on that too. They're more accurate on costs. I think I shared with you earlier, I do think things like parking lots, I don't think those belong on a bond. If they're not paid on something like that over 20 years, those makes sense to me. I think that's something we should be fiscally responsible as a district. Yeah, like words. I don't know if it's wrong.
There are.
Some of the parking we could do and not even saying what the gym, we'll put the new gym in the elementary, but it'll require us to do the park. Yeah. Well, park. Minimum. Well, like, you know. Another thing I want to throw out, I don't want to,
There's,
Have the students help you.
part of the, so Brent is super close to getting his contractor's license. Like the field house, little projects like that, Brent can be our contractor. Obviously, some of the smaller projects, save money, contractor.
yeah, although I think that is one potentially that, might, it, depending on the cost, would be a nice little throw in because people would see immediate, like, oh, now the kids have someplace to dress down, you know, that type of thing. It would be interesting to see how that goes.
Explain that, what your comment on that, what do you mean by immediate?
Well, because again, that you could see that the kids down at the track, you know, especially for football games, that the visiting team have someplace to go. Again, if it's fiscally, it makes sense. I would say that could be something that we could
Well,
include.
I wasn't clear on what I was saying, Ken. What I was saying is it would still be part of the bond process, but the cost of that, like, John would give us would include the contractor.
Oh, got it, got
contractor
it,
fee.
got it.
We
Okay,
could remove that cost from the project,
got
but
it.
it would still be part of the bond project. And where I was gonna go with that, to assure you, legally, you have to start your project within a certain amount
Right.
window after you pass your bond. And another thing I learned up there is the work really begins when you pass a bond. And you have to do a good job of communicating to the community the progress that you're on and working towards what you just asked them for money. And talking with John, I don't think Glide did a very good job in 2007 communicating with the community on that process, how they were spending the money and progress they're making toward what. Sorry, my arm. It's hard work standing up here. I'm not used to this. All right, any other bond questions? Okay, I want to end with a second presentation. You've heard me talk about community schools. And so I'm just going to show you two slides here. Community schools is comes out of an organization called Inflection. And it's based on 4 tenets or pillars. And behind that top band there, you can kind of see there's a saying there, great schools, every student deserves one. Ever since I met you guys have been 100% focused on making Glide great school. And that starts where your North Star is around your student and your student experience. And Inflection is all about that. Everything that we've been doing fits right into their framework. What this does is gives us a framework to operate from. So it's based on 4 pillars: collaborative leadership and practices, family and community partnerships, expanded and enhanced learning time, and integrated student supports. And their statement has ever seen greatness without those 4 areas. And if you think about great schools, you think about your school when you went through school here, all of those needs were being met. Maybe not organized like that, but those are the tenets. They do work around the board. I'll read this to you here in just a minute. They do work around with the board and the community to develop a vision. And so we all have a common shared identity or expectation of what our schools look like. So what is a community school? A community school is any school serving pre-K through high school students using the whole child approach with an integrated focus on academics, health and social services, youth and community development, and community engagement. You guys, that's every time you talk, you hit one of those bullets. As a school improvement strategy, community schools initiatives enable the local school district and school to work closely with educators, students, and families to understand and address the unique needs, assets, and aspirations of the school community. So it's not rocket science, it's nothing new. It fits right into your strategic plan and it fits into everything that you direct me to do for this school district. Carrie, I should have told you, Carrie's excused tonight because he's getting a new addition to his family. Before you get excited, he's not having a baby, they're getting a new puppy. Picking it up in Tacoma. So we should have a new puppy tomorrow. But he went through this process in Winston Dillard and it really made sense to him as a building leader. Tammy and Carrie and I have attended meetings just to kind of learn more about community schools, and we're hooked. This is exactly the direction we want to go as a school district. Our last meeting, we actually took some more leadership people to, and coming up in March, we're going to actually go visit a school where community schools is at the root of everything they do, so we can kind of see it in action. But more to come on this. Oh, not more to come. Please write down on your calendars March 13th. That's Friday the 13th. 10 o'clock to noon is going to be our kickoff with Inflection around community schools. So we'll have the entire staff here. It would be super valuable if you could make that. I'll feed you lunch. I'm feeding everybody lunch, but I'll feed you lunch. But that's going to be our start of the community schools work, where you all and the staff get to help kind of guide our early vision of how we want our schools to be. 10 o'clock to noon. No, you got to be at that meeting. What's in Reno? That sounds kind of fun. So, yep. So if you can make it, it'd be great. Tammy, do you have anything to add on community schools, or I'm going to put you on the
I
spot?
don't know where.
We're going to meet at the elementary in the cafeteria. I think we just decided that today. We'll send an invite to you, but if you could put that in your calendars, that'd be great. Anything to add? Well said. Sorry, I'm done on the mic. Any questions around community schools? Definitely more to come. All right. Thank you, guys.
Carolyn,
You guys have your financial report. We're doing well right now, and I can hardly believe that I am already starting the 26-27 budget process. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know.
Just a second. Laundry. Never end.
thank you for that. Individual board members. Janet, would you like to?
Sure, I'll start. I just want to again call out a huge thank you for everybody for last meeting. It was really great. I went home and all the stuff that we got. It was really wonderful. I am wearing my orange shirt, but it's freezing in here, and so I knew I was like, I'm probably not going to take this off. So I really appreciate that, and the opportunity. Again, it just was a great. It's a reason why I partly really enjoyed this being on the school board. So thank you all for the effort and everything that took. I also, just in terms of wrestling again, I was so excited to hear about the 6 going to state, and Walker getting coach of the year for second time is really amazing, and seeing and talking about, the opportunities for expansion for and dedicated space for those athletes as well as thinking about the mat club and just how huge it is. And so being able to offer that. And there are a lot of girls also going out for wrestling. So it's just not, sport for both. And so that was fantastic to hear. And honestly, Robert, I was having flashbacks because community schools I was involved in the Centennial School District when I started my career. It is not new. And I was just like, wow, this was exactly what we built in Centennial. That I got, and I was a social work intern there and I was involved in building it. So it was really amazing. And to see that come around, I'm always like telling staff, like, okay, yeah, I did that 20 years ago. So I know exactly. And there's foundation and principles about that I really do appreciate. And I think we'll be really excited to hear more about that. So thank you. So yeah, and I'm excited to see where this goes with the bond and what we can do in getting the feedback from the community.
Dan?
I just wanted to take a second and congratulate the teachers that went from probation to contract status. It's a big thing. So congratulations to them. And then when you go through the list of, the extended contract teachers, they're so famous. They're infamous teachers in our district. So thank them. It's all them that are signed up again for another 2 years or 3. So.
John? You got nothing? Okay. Robert, thanks again for getting the bond stuff rolling. It's gonna be pretty exciting. There's gonna be a broad spectrum of ideas and such. And I wanna say, for all of us board members, it's gonna fall on our shoulders ultimately. So, it'll be interesting. And I really like the idea of some, if we can swing it, some new additional buildings and getting rid of some of the modulars. And it's great to see the old school, right? But I'm getting old. It's like I'm gonna be replaced at some point. So we starting to get some new modern things on our property as and getting some of the older stuff that's causing maintenance nightmares changed. I think that's a great step forward. Great step forward. So like I said before, all of you, Tammy, or Tracy and Carolyn, John. Yeah, you too, Jen. Robert's kind of stuck. He has to be here, but you guys spend a lot of extra time. And that's appreciated. Dan, you too, for your volunteering. I see too many times that 90% of the work is done by 10% in of the people in a volunteer situation. So to see the camaraderie and teamwork is awesome. So really appreciate it. Anybody got anything else besides shut up, Tim? Okay. This meeting is adjourned.